What is up, everybody? Super Yankee for Life here once again, bringing you guys NFL picks week 3. Can't believe it's week 3 already, just like it was, just yesterday it felt like it was week 1. But anyway, the Thursday night game right off the bat, Giants at the Panthers. I originally picked the Giants to win, however with the injuries to Hakeem Nicks, to Ahmad Bradshaw, to offensive linemen, I'm gonna go with the Carolina Panthers 21-20 over the New York Giants, because I believe those injuries will be key to the Giants' downfall in this game, I believe. And plus, Cam Newton played out of his mind last week against the Saints. Offensively, Carolina is good, but defensively, if they can improve, like I said, they'll be a playoff contender this season. Dallas hosting Tampa Bay. Dallas had 11 days to prepare for Seattle, and they just completely and utterly just laid an egg. I mean, there's really nothing else to describe it as. They just laid an egg against the Seattle Seahawks last week. Of course, give Seattle a lot of credit offensively, defensively, and special teams, especially special teams. Gave them a 10-0 lead in the first quarter, and they basically never looked back from there. I expect Dallas to bounce back and win 23-17 over a very game Tampa Bay team coming off a loss to the Giants last week. Of course, there was a lot of hoopla about the final play, the kneel down, whether or not they should have just let the Giants just kneel down. Instead, they chose to bull rush Manning. My personal opinion is, they played to the final whistle. They played to the final until the clock hit triple zeros. That's, in my personal opinion, I believe that's the way it should be. Play to the final whistle. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents about that. St. Louis at Chicago. Lots been made about Jay Cutler and his attitude problem. Personally, I think every quarterback has an attitude problem. Everybody yells at their offensive line. However, I did think he took it a step too far by actually getting physical with his offensive linemen last Thursday. I mean, you can yell at them and cuss at them all you want. Just if you lay a finger on them, they are going to retaliate in some way. As far as this game, I expect Julius Peppers, who is on my fantasy team, to have a big game against a depleted St. Louis offensive line. Defensively, I think that the Bears will shine through. So Cutler, although it would be nice if he would, do well, coming off a 4 interception game, it would help. It really won't matter in my personal opinion, because I think the defense will do the job. 21-13. Chicago, I think, will rebound and get a W. A much needed W, I think. Cleveland hosting Buffalo. I want to pick Cleveland, which I am picking Cleveland to win this game, but I believe Buffalo can really steal this game. Buffalo coming off a win against I think got really played. Cleveland coming off a loss to Cincinnati. But guys like Brandon Weeden, Trent Richardson, basically, if you're a Browns fan, what you saw last week, even though you lost, you guys lost the game, what you saw last week is, I think, a glimpse of the future in Cleveland, with Weeden playing well, Richardson running the ball for over 100 yards, and that ridiculous touchdown catch off a screen pass where he just broke, I think, like 3 or 4 tackles in the end zone, for a touchdown. It was unbelievable. One of the best plays of the weekend. I like Cleveland 17-14 to win this game. It's going to be a close game throughout. I expect Trent Richardson to be a focal point in the offense once again, just like last week. Detroit at Tennessee. Detroit coming off a loss to San Francisco. Of course, there's no shame in losing to San Francisco since with the way they're playing. Detroit will bounce back, I believe. and win 24-13 over Tennessee. Tennessee, another team that's rebuilding. Chris Johnson, I really don't know what is wrong with what's going on with him, and he's not the back that was electrifying a few years back when he ran for over 2,000 yards. Houston hosting Jacksonville. Andrew Luck coming off his first win. Jacksonville coming off a loss to Houston. I mean, Jacksonville will probably have the #1 overall pick. Jacksonville and Tennessee will probably be in the top 5 in next year's draft. Andrew Luck, I think, will get his second win in a row, 23-13 over Jacksonville. The Jets at Miami. Tannehill looked pretty good last week, in my personal opinion. Reggie Bush just went off. I mean, if Reggie Bush can become an every down back, I think he will live up to what he'll live up to the hype. I believe. That's been the question. Can he be an every down running back? Last week he proved that he could. Now, can he do it consistently? That's the question. As for the Jets, coming off a loss to Pittsburgh, Sanchez did not look too good offensively. I mean, the first quarter was good, but the rest of the quarter was just bad. I like the Jets to win 24-17. I believe Sanchez will do more good than bad, and therefore the Jets will win. San Francisco at Minnesota. Now, San Francisco, in my personal opinion, is the best team in football, head to toe. Alex Smith is showing promise. I mean, obviously he's getting better and better. Frank Gore running the football with that tenacious defense, probably the best defense in football. 27-17 over Minnesota, I believe, in that one. New Orleans hosting Kansas City. Now, if you told me the Saints will start 0-2, now there's a lot of talk about how much the Saints are missing Sean Payton. Yes, he is a good coach, but I don't think even Sean Payton could help out the defense of the New Orleans Saints. The problem is not Sean Payton. The problem is with the defense. You gave up 40 points at home to Washington, and then you give up 35 to Carolina. There's a problem with your defense. Not so much the fact that you've lost your coach. It's that defense. Fortunately for them, Kansas City's not much of a threat offensively, although they do have Dwayne Bowe and Jamal Charles, but Kansas City just looks dead right now. I expect New Orleans to get their first win, 28-14. But defensively for New Orleans, they've got to get better. Otherwise, they're not contending for a playoff spot, let alone the NFC South, or for wild card, whatever. Cincinnati at Washington. Even though Washington lost last week, I was very, very impressed with Robert Griffin III. I have the Redskins winning 23-20. It's gonna be a good game. Cincinnati is going to be, geared up and ready to play. It'll be a close game throughout. Two outstanding young quarterbacks, I believe, in Dalton and Robert Griffin III. I think this may be one of the best games of the weekend. Although, on paper it doesn't look that way, but in my opinion, this game could steal the show in Week 3. Philadelphia at Arizona. This is the late kickoff start right here. Philly coming up. What amazes me is that Philly, with 9 combined turnovers in 2 games, are 2-0. They should have lost to Cleveland. Probably should have lost to Baltimore last week. Of course, some Baltimore fans would say that the officiating was costly. Maybe they have a point there. I'm going to go with Philly to start off the year 3-0, 24-21 over Arizona. Arizona, getting better with John Skelton. They just seem more comfortable with him. than Kevin Kolb. Now, although I'm pretty sure Kevin Kolb is still the starting quarterback as of right now, because of Skelton with the sprained ankle, I believe, which was suffered in Week 1 against Seattle. Atlanta at San Diego. Atlanta coming off a Monday night win there against Denver. They are 2-0. I like the Falcons to win 23-19 because I believe it's going to be one of those games where Michael Turner will have to be running the ball 25, 30, close to 30 times a game, although 25 times will be pretty good. As for San Diego, I just don't know if they have a running game, to be quite honest with you. I know they have Ryan Matthews, but I don't know if they have a running game to complement with Phillip Rivers. Houston at Denver. Now this could be the game of the week as well. Two offenses that can light up the scoreboard. Matt Schaub, Peyton Manning. I'm going to go with Houston because they seem to be the more complete team. Although both defenses, both Houston and Denver's defense is pretty good. I'm going to go 27-24 because I believe offensively Houston can score more points than Peyton Manning in the Broncos can. That's good water. Anyway. Pittsburgh at Oakland. Pittsburgh coming off a win over the Jets. Oakland coming off a, I think they lost to Miami last week. I'm pretty sure. I mean, at this point, who really cares about Oakland? I'm just kidding about that. But Oakland, one of those teams that's trying to rebuild for the future with Carson Palmer. I personally believe that Oakland will make this competitive, but I believe Pittsburgh will win 23-17. The Sunday Night Football game, Baltimore hosting New England. Speaking of games that can be game of the week, I'm going to go with Baltimore in this one, 20-17, because I personally believe that Joe Flacco has taken that next step. Although last week in this Philly was a setback, I think he's ready to take that next step and be an elite quarterback in the NFL. I'm not saying he's elite yet, but he's taking the necessary steps, I believe, to be an elite quarterback in this league. 20-17. I think Ray Rice in this game in particular will be a big factor, running, catching passes out of the backfield as long as pass protecting for Joe Flacco. Because I believe the New England Patriots defense will try to get after Joe Flacco. And then the Monday Night Football game, Green Bay at Seattle. Seattle coming off a very impressive win over Dallas last week. Green Bay coming off a impressive defensive effort against Chicago. I personally believe Green Bay's defense, I think it's a step in the right direction anytime you can stop a team that scored 40 points the week before against Indianapolis and Chicago, and then hold them to just I think it was maybe 10, 13 points they held them to. And then plus they sacked Cutler 7 times, picked him off 4 times. So if that's a sign of things to come, if that defense can improve, and then you have one of the best offenses in the league, led by Aaron Rodgers, you've got yourself almost a complete team. They very well could be the best team in football right now, along with San Francisco and Houston. Anyway, 27-17, the score there. I believe the Green Bay Packers will go to 2-1. Those are my picks. Disagree? Feel free to disagree if you want to in the comment section. Until next time, Super Geek for Life signing off. Peace.